Alex Eala shocked the tennis world by defeating Jessica Pegula and lifting the biggest title of her career. But what happened next could be even more important, because Alex's road ahead is now packed with massive opportunities. Cincinnati, the U.S. Open, and a series of major tournaments that could completely change the next chapter of her career. And there's one name fans should be watching very closely. But before we reveal who that is, if you're a true tennis lover, hit that subscribe button. Tennis Hive has taken on a 500 subscriber challenge, and we're here to complete it with you. So subscribe now, join the Tennis Hive family, and let's reach 500 together. Now let me ask you something. What if Alex Eala had to face Jessica Pegula again? Would the result be the same? Or would Pegula come back with a completely different game? And what if this time, the pressure was even greater? Because the first victory changed how the tennis world sees Alex. But a second victory could change something much bigger. It could change the way the entire tennis world talks about her. And that is exactly why Cincinnati is so interesting. Alex is not arriving in Cincinnati as an unknown player hoping for a surprise. She arrives as the number 17 seed. She has earned a first-round bye. And suddenly, the player who was once considered one of the exciting young names in women's tennis is now being placed among the serious contenders. But here's the question. Was Washington the beginning of something huge? Or was it simply one incredible week? There is only one way to find out, and that is by watching what Alex does next. Because Cincinnati is a completely different challenge. The WTA 1000 stage brings together some of the strongest players in the world. There's almost nowhere to hide. Every round gets harder. Every opponent brings another test. And every victory becomes more valuable. Alex's first opponent after the bye will come from the match between Magda Linette and Elena Gabriela Ruse. That might not sound like the biggest headline, but this is exactly where the danger begins. Because Alex cannot afford to look beyond her first match. She cannot start thinking about Pegula. She cannot start thinking about the U.S. Open. She cannot start thinking about what another deep run might do for her ranking. First, she has to survive Cincinnati one match at a time. And then, there's the name everyone is going to be watching. Jessica Pegula, the American superstar. The player Alex just defeated in Washington. But let's go back for a moment. Because what happened in Washington was not just another tennis match. Pegula started strongly. She won the opening set 6-4. For many players, that would have been the moment when confidence started disappearing. But Alex didn't collapse. She didn't panic. Instead, she found another level. She took the second set 6-4. And then came the moment nobody expected. The deciding set. Alex didn't just win it. She dominated it. 6-0. A bagel against one of the biggest names in American tennis. And suddenly, Alex Eala was a WTA 500 champion. But now imagine what happens if these two meet again. This time, Pegula knows exactly what Alex can do. She has already experienced Alex's speed, her movement, her ability to change the momentum of a match, her ability to stay calm when the pressure becomes enormous. So if they meet again, Pegula will not be surprised. She will be prepared. And that creates the first big question. Can Alex beat her twice? Because beating a top player once is one thing. Doing it again is completely different. The first victory creates belief. The second victory creates a reputation. And Alex is now standing at that exact crossroads. But there's another question. Would Alex even want the rematch this early? Think about it. A player wins the biggest title of her career, then immediately enters a WTA 1000 tournament, and potentially finds the same opponent waiting down the road. That is a massive mental challenge. Does Alex carry the confidence of Washington? Or does the pressure of expectation start working against her? Because now people are watching. Before Washington, an Alex Eala victory over Pegula would have been called a major upset. After Washington, people will expect Alex to do it again. And expectations can be heavier than pressure. That is what makes Cincinnati so dangerous, but also so exciting, because Alex now has something she didn't have before. Proof. She knows she can beat the best. She knows she can recover after losing a set. She knows she can handle a final. And she knows she can close out a huge match when everything is on the line. That confidence could become her biggest weapon. But Cincinnati is only part of the story. Because after Cincinnati, another enormous stage is waiting. The U.S. Open, New York, a massive crowd, a grand slam, and an opportunity for Alex to show the world whether her Washington breakthrough was the start of a new era. Imagine Alex walking onto the U.S. Open court after making a deep Cincinnati run. Imagine the confidence. Imagine the attention. And imagine the pressure. Because by then, people won't be asking, "Who is Alex Eala?" They will already know. The question will be, how far can she go? And that is a completely different conversation. But before we get there, Alex has to deal with Cincinnati. And before she can think about the trophy, she has to think about the next match. That is the reality of professional tennis. 1 point, 1 game, 1 set, 1 match at a time. And perhaps that is exactly how Alex should approach this moment. Forget the noise. Forget the predictions. Forget the possible Pegula rematch. Just play. Because if Alex keeps winning, the rematch will take care of itself. And if Pegula keeps winning, then the tension will continue building, round after round, match after match, until eventually they could find themselves standing across the net from each other again. Alex Eala, Jessica Pegula, the young star from the Philippines, the American superstar. One already has a recent victory over the other. But tennis has a funny way of giving players another chance. And if that chance comes in Cincinnati, we could witness something very special. Because this time, the story would not be about an upset. It would be about confirmation. Can Alex prove that Washington was not a fluke? Can she defeat Pegula again? Can she continue climbing the rankings? Can she carry this momentum all the way into the U.S. Open? And perhaps the biggest question of all, is Alex Eala ready to become one of the names that the entire tennis world has to take seriously? We don't have that answer yet. And that is what makes the next few weeks so exciting. Because Alex's story is moving faster than anyone expected. Washington gave her the breakthrough. Cincinnati gives her the test. And the U.S. Open could give her the biggest stage of all. So keep your eyes on Alex Eala, because something bigger may be coming. And if Jessica Pegula ends up standing across the net from her again, don't expect the same story. Expect a battle. Expect pressure. Expect emotion. And expect 2 players who now know exactly what the other is capable of. The first chapter belonged to Alex. But if they meet again, who gets the final word? Who will rise under the pressure? Who will take the trophy? And when the final ball lands, whose name will be written into the next chapter of this incredible story? Alex Eala or Jessica Pegula? That's the question Cincinnati may soon answer. And one thing is certain, the tennis world will be watching.